Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I want to talk about something that changed my entire perspective on money, and it comes from the wisdom of Bashar. We often think that becoming a millionaire is a distant dream, but that version of you already exists right now. Before we dive into this mechanic, please consider subscribing to help our channel grow. Also, check the description for the links to the books I highly recommend and the free PDF about mirror hours to help you decode the science from the field. Now, let's talk about tuning in to your wealthiest version. In this first part of our journey, we're going to understand how your millionaire version isn't a future goal, but a reality that is happening right now, side by side with your current life. I want you to stop for just a few seconds and really listen to what I'm about to tell you. This has the power to completely shift how you perceive your entire existence. Right now, at this very moment, there is a version of you living the millionaire life you've always imagined. I'm not talking about the future. I'm not talking about a distant, blurry dream or something you might achieve in 10 years. I am talking about now, this exact instant. While you are listening to my voice, there is a version of you waking up in absolute financial freedom, a version that makes decisions, moves money, and creates opportunities with complete naturalness. This version lives in profound peace, knowing that abundance isn't something they attained, but something that is part of their very nature. And the most intriguing part? This version is not far from you. It's not on another planet, it's not in another lifetime, and it isn't waiting for decades of soul-crushing effort to finally exist. It is as close to you as your own breath. The only difference between the you sitting here right now and that millionaire version isn't intelligence, it isn't luck, and it certainly isn't just hard work. The difference is simply frequency. For decades, this idea was treated as something mystical or new age, but today, quantum physics itself is pointing towards something extraordinary, the existence of parallel realities. All possible versions of your life exist simultaneously. There is a version of you living with financial fear, checking the bank account with a knot in the stomach. There is the version living a stable, okay life, and there is the millionaire version. They all coexist in the field right now. So the question isn't whether that wealthy version exists. The question is much more provocative. Why aren't you living in it yet? Think of it like a radio. If you want to listen to a specific station, say the Abundance FM, you have to tune your receiver to that exact frequency. The music is already playing. It's in the air around you right now. If you are tuned in to Scarcity AM, you won't hear the music of wealth, not because the music isn't there, but because your receiver isn't aligned with it. You don't create the music, you tune into it. In the same way, you don't create wealth from scratch. You tune into the version of you that is already wealthy. This concept of parallel realities is fundamental to understanding how the millionaire frequency works. Imagine a deck of cards spread out on a table. Every card represents a version of your life. One card is you struggling, another is you succeeding, and another is you in total financial mastery. All the cards are on the table at the same time. You don't have to wait for a new card to be printed. You just have to pick the one you want to play with. This is what Bashar means when he says that everything is here and now. The reason most people never touch the millionaire card is because they are too focused on the card they are currently holding. They look at their bank balance, they feel the stress of the bills, and they say, "This is my reality." By doing that, they keep their radio locked on the same old station. They're waiting for the station to change its music before they change the dial. But the universe doesn't work that way. The universe is a perfect mirror. It only reflects the frequency you are currently emitting. If you are emitting the frequency of "I need more money," the universe can only reflect back the reality of needing. Therefore, you will always be in a state of wanting, but never having. To access the millionaire version, you must start emitting the frequency of having before the physical evidence appears. This isn't faking it. It's a technical adjustment of your internal state. It's about recognizing that the wealth you seek is already a part of the field, waiting for you to recognize it as yours. Think about the air in the room where you are right now. You can't see the Wi-Fi signals, the television waves, or the thousands of radio broadcasts passing through your body, but you know they are there. If you turn on a device and tune it correctly, the information appears. Your Millionaire version is exactly like that. It is a high-frequency signal that is already present in your space. You don't see it yet because your internal hardware is still calibrated for a lower, denser reality. When we talk about the Millionaire version, we aren't just talking about a number in a bank account. We're talking about a state of being. The Millionaire version of you doesn't worry about how to pay for dinner. That version doesn't feel a sense of lack when looking at a price tag. That version operates from a place of contribution, creativity, and flow. When you begin to adopt these internal qualities, you are literally shifting your coordinates in the quantum field. You are moving away from the grid of scarcity and aligning with the grid of abundance. The struggle comes when we try to reach that reality using our old tools. We think that if we work 2 more hours or find a better investment, we will eventually get there. But getting there implies that the wealth is over there. As long as you believe wealth is outside of you or in the future, it will remain outside of you and in the future. The Millionaire version isn't a destination, it's a frequency you inhabit. The excitement you feel when you think about this possibility is a physical sign. It's your body's way of reacting to a higher frequency. It's a literal ping from the Millionaire version of you, saying, "Yes, I am here, tune in." Most people dismiss this excitement as a mere fantasy, but in the mechanics of the law of attraction, that excitement is the most practical tool you have. It is the evidence of the reality you are syntonizing. So, let's start this audit of your reality right now. Look around you. Everything you see is a result of the frequency you've been sustaining up until this moment. Your house, your car, your income, they are all recordings of your past vibrations. They are not the truth. They are just the echo of where you were tuned in. To change the echo, you must change the shout. You must stop reacting to the physical world as if it were the final authority and start acting as the conscious tuner of your own life. This first step is about acceptance. It's about letting go of the heavy, leaden idea that you are a victim of circumstances. You are not a victim. You are a syntonizer. You have been syntonizing a version of reality that you perhaps didn't consciously choose. But now that you know how the radio works, you are no longer obligated to listen to the same station. The Millionaire version of you is standing right next to you, vibrating with ease, waiting for you to simply acknowledge its presence and step into its light. Remember, the universe is infinitely abundant. It doesn't cost the universe any more energy to give you $1 million than it does to give you a single penny. The only limit is your ability to receive the signal. If your antenna is bent by doubt, fear, and the old stories of "it's hard to make money," the signal will be distorted. We are here to straighten that antenna. We are here to clear the static and allow the pure, golden frequency of your most successful self to come through loud and clear. As we move forward, keep this image in your mind. You are the operator of the most sophisticated frequency receiver in existence, your own consciousness. You are in control of the dial. You are the one who decides which version of now becomes your physical experience. This is the foundation of everything we will discuss in this video. Once you truly grasp that the Millionaire version is a present reality, everything else becomes a simple matter of alignment. In this second part, we are going to explore how the world around you functions exactly like a mirror, and why trying to change your financial life through physical effort alone is like trying to change your reflection without moving your own face. One of the most profound realizations you can have about wealth is understanding that the physical world has no initiative of its own. It doesn't do anything to you, it only reacts. Bashar uses a very simple but powerful analogy: the mirror. Imagine you are standing in front of a mirror and you see that your hair is messy. You wouldn't reach out and try to brush the reflection in the glass, would you? You know instinctively that the only way to fix the hair in the reflection is to brush the hair on your own head. Yet, when it comes to money, most people spend their entire lives trying to brush the mirror. They look at their bank accounts, they see a reflection of scarcity, and they try to manipulate the reflection. They work more hours, they stress, they struggle, and they fight against the physical circumstances. They're trying to force the reflection to change while their own internal face remains stuck in a frequency of lack. This is what I call the trap of physical effort. It's a heavy, exhausting way to live because you are fighting against the laws of physics. Your reality is a perfect 360-degree mirror of your internal state. If you are vibrating at the frequency of someone who is struggling to pay bills, the mirror of reality has no choice but to show you a world where bills are hard to pay. It's not a punishment, it's just a reflection. The millionaire version of you doesn't have a different mirror. That version simply stands in front of the same mirror with a different internal look. That version is emitting a signal of ease, of having enough, and of being in flow. Consequently, the mirror of their life reflects back opportunities, unexpected income, and financial harmony. Think about a simple, everyday example. Have you ever noticed that when you are in a rush and feeling stressed, every red light seems to catch you? The traffic seems heavier, people seem ruder, and everything feels like an obstacle? That's the mirror effect in real time. Your internal frequency of stress and delay is being reflected by the environment. On the other hand, when you are feeling aligned, happy, and at peace, things just seem to click. You find the perfect parking spot, you meet the right person at the right time, and doors open effortlessly. Money works exactly the same way. To activate your millionaire version, you have to stop asking the world for permission to feel wealthy. Most people say, "I'll feel secure once I have $1 million in the bank." But the mirror says, "You feel insecure, so I will show you reasons to be insecure." You must provide the image first. You must cultivate the inner feeling of abundance, even when the physical reflection hasn't caught up yet. This is where the real work happens. It's not physical work, it's the work of maintaining your frequency despite what the current reflection is showing you. Think about the clothes you wear or the way you walk. The millionaire version of you doesn't walk with the weight of the world on their shoulders. They walk with a sense of belonging, as if the world is a welcoming place. When you start to adopt that posture, when you start to look at the world through the eyes of abundance, you are changing the face you show to the mirror. You might start small, appreciating the coffee you drink as if it's the finest luxury, or feeling genuine gratitude for the money you do have right now, no matter the amount. The moment you stop resisting the current reflection and focus entirely on your internal signal, the reflection begins to dissolve. It has to. It's a law. But here is the trick. The physical mirror has a slight delay. Because physical matter is denser than thought, it takes a little bit of time for the new image to appear in the reflection. This is the stage where most people give up. They change their frequency for a day or two, look at the mirror, see the same old bills, and say, "This doesn't work." By saying that, they immediately shift back to the old frequency of doubt, and the mirror faithfully reflects that doubt back to them. You have to be bold enough to trust your internal image more than the external reflection. Imagine you're an actor playing a role. If you are playing a king, you don't wait for the audience to bow before you start acting like a king. You act like a king first, and then the audience recognizes your authority. Your millionaire version is a role you are stepping into. You start by making choices from that state of being. You don't need to spend money you don't have, but you can start thinking, how would the wealthy version of me react to this situation? Would they be panicked, or would they be calm and resourceful? When you choose calmness, when you choose to see abundance everywhere, in the trees, in the sunlight, in the digital connections we share, you are feeding a new frequency into the mirror. You are no longer a victim of what you see. You are the creator of what you are about to see. This shift from reacting to initiating is the hallmark of the millionaire frequency. Let go of the idea that you need to fight the world to get what you want. The world isn't holding anything back from you. There is no gatekeeper deciding who gets to be rich and who doesn't. There is only the mirror. If you don't like what you see in your financial life, don't get angry at the mirror, don't try to break the glass, just change your posture, change your inner dialogue. Start acknowledging the wealth that is already present in your life, even in the smallest forms. As you do this, the reflection will slowly but surely begin to transform. The old world will fade and the new trajectory will form right before your eyes because you finally understood that the power was always on your side of the glass. In this third part, we are going to talk about the biggest mistake people make when trying to attract wealth. The trap of waiting for the money to appear before they allow themselves to feel rich. I want to share a secret with you that most people spend their entire lives without understanding. It's the reason why so many people study the law of attraction, read all the books, watch all the videos, and yet their bank accounts remain exactly the same. They are caught in what I call the waiting trap. The waiting trap is a logical loop that keeps you anchored in scarcity. It goes like this. You say to yourself, I will feel abundant once the money's in my account. I will feel successful once I have that car, or once I can pay off all my debts. On the surface, this sounds like common sense. Our society has taught us that we should react to what we see. But in the mechanics of reality, the mechanics that Bashar explains so clearly, this is a fundamental error. If you are waiting for the external world to change so that you can change your internal state, you are giving all your power away to a reflection. Remember what we discussed in the last block. The world is a mirror. If you stand in front of a mirror and say, I will smile once my reflection smiles first, you will be waiting forever. The reflection cannot move on its own. It is physically impossible for the mirror to smile if you are standing there with a serious, worried face. The millionaire version of you knows this. That version doesn't wait for permission from the outside world to feel wealthy. They inhabit the frequency of wealth as a starting point, not as a destination. When you say, I'll be happy when, you are literally telling the universe that you are not happy now. And since the universe is a mirror, it simply reflects back more not having, more waiting, and more seeking. You become a professional seeker, but never a finder. Think about a very simple, everyday example, like ordering a meal at a restaurant. Once you place your order with the waiter, you don't sit there in a state of panic wondering if the food exists. You don't keep checking the kitchen every 30 seconds to see if they are actually cooking. You simply relax. You talk to your friends, you enjoy the atmosphere, and you act as if the meal is already yours, because it is. The transaction has been made. There is just a small physical delay between the order and the delivery. Your financial reality works the same way. When you align your frequency with your millionaire version, you have placed your order in the quantum field. But because physical matter is much slower and denser than thought, there is a processing period. This is where most people fail. During this delay, they look at their empty pockets and say, "Where is my money? It didn't work." The moment they do that, they cancel the order. They jump back into the frequency of not having, and the universe, being a perfect servant, stops the delivery. To exit the waiting trap, you must learn to sustain the frequency of having even when the not having is still visible. This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending your bills don't exist. It's about a deep internal knowing that the version of you that is wealthy is already a reality in the field. You start to move through your day with a different air. You look at the world and you see opportunities instead of obstacles. You stop looking at your bank balance as the truth and start seeing it as just a temporary report of where your frequency used to be. Imagine you are an author writing a book. While you are in the middle of a chapter, the book isn't finished in the physical world yet. But in your mind, the story is complete. You know the ending. You know the characters. You don't stop writing just because the physical book isn't on the shelf yet. You keep going because you trust the process. Manifesting wealth is exactly like that. You are the author, and your millionaire life is the story. Don't let the unfinished pages convince you that the ending hasn't been written. Another common everyday example is the GPS in your car. When you put in a destination, the GPS tells you that you will arrive in 20 minutes. You don't get angry 5 minutes into the trip because you aren't there yet. You don't turn around and go home saying the GPS lied to you. You simply keep driving, trusting that as long as you stay on the path, the destination is inevitable. The millionaire frequency is your destination. Your internal state is the car. As long as you keep the car moving in the right direction, meaning as long as you keep your vibration high and aligned, the arrival is a mathematical certainty. The trap is thinking that the arrival is what creates the feeling. It's actually the other way around. The feeling is what creates the arrival. Bashar teaches us that excitement is the signal that you are on the right track. If you can find a way to feel excited about your life right now for no reason at all, you are winning. If you can look at a beautiful sunset and feel as rich as a billionaire, you are synchronizing that reality. The universe doesn't know the difference between a feeling caused by $1 million and a feeling caused by a deep sense of gratitude. It only registers the frequency. So I invite you to stop the waiting game today. Stop looking at the clock. Stop asking when and how. The when and how are the universe's job. Your only job is to stay in the frequency of the version of you that already has it. If that version is peaceful, be peaceful now. If that version is generous, find a way to be generous now, even if it's just with a kind word or a smile. By doing this, you are telling the mirror that the image has changed, and very soon the reflection will have no choice but to follow suit. When you stop waiting, you start living, and when you start living in the millionaire frequency, the money stops being a goal and starts being a natural consequence of who you have become. You are no longer chasing shadows in the mirror, you are the one shining the light. In this final part of our video, we're going to understand how to anchor this new version of yourself into your daily life. It's about moving from trying to be to simply being the person who naturally attracts wealth. Now that we understand how the frequency of reality works, the mirror effect, and how to avoid the waiting trap, we arrive at the most important part, your identity. This is the core of everything. You don't get what you want in life, you get who you are. The millionaire version of you isn't just someone with more money in the bank. It is someone with a completely different self-image. Think about the way you talk to yourself when no one is listening. Think about the small, everyday choices you make. The millionaire version of you doesn't operate from a place of lack. When they see something beautiful or high quality, they don't say, "I could never afford that," or "That's too expensive for me." Instead, they say, "That is a perfect match for my frequency." They don't even need to buy it right then. They just recognize that the object and their energy are on the same level. Adopting this new identity is like changing the clothes of your soul. Imagine you are an actor who has been playing a struggling character for years. You know the lines, the posture, and the feelings of that character by heart. Now you've been given a new script, the role of a successful, financially free individual. At first, the new lines might feel strange in your mouth. Your old habits might try to pull you back into the old role. But the more you practice being this new version, the more natural it becomes. This is what it means to anchor the frequency. You don't need to do anything grand or expensive to start. You can start by organizing your wallet, treating every bill you have with respect and gratitude because it represents a service or a product you enjoyed. You can start by walking with a straight back and a sense of calm. You can start by making decisions based on what would the most successful version of me do right now. Most people think they need to change their actions to change their results, but the truth is you need to change your identity to change your actions. When you feel like a millionaire, you naturally start seeing opportunities that you were blind to before. You start having ideas that align with wealth. You stop wasting energy on things that drain your vibration. The money doesn't come to you because you worked for it in the old heavy way. It comes to you because you became a magnet for it. Think of a tree. A tree doesn't struggle to grow fruit. It doesn't wake up in the mornings stressed about whether it will have enough sap or sunlight. The tree simply is a tree. It stays in the state of being a tree, and as a result, the fruit grows naturally as a consequence of its identity. You are the same. When you stay in the state of being abundant, the financial fruit must appear in your life. It is a biological and quantum necessity. The millionaire version of you is already inside you, waiting for your permission to take the lead. It's not about adding something new to yourself. It's about letting go of the old, limited ideas of who you thought you were. You're clearing the path so that your natural state of abundance can shine through. Every time you choose peace over worry or gratitude over lack, you are casting a vote for your new identity. Remember that the universe is always listening to your frequency, not just your words. If you say, "I am rich," but you feel, "I am poor," the universe responds to the feeling. So focus on the feeling of relief, the feeling of freedom, and the feeling of it is done. This is the true meaning of faith. It's the ability to sustain an internal reality so strongly that the external world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match you. As we conclude this exploration of Bashar's wisdom, I want you to realize that you are the most powerful technology on the planet. Your consciousness is the dial, and the entire universe is the broadcast. You are no longer a victim of the economy, your past, or your circumstances. You are a conscious creator who has finally learned how to tune into the millionaire frequency. Take a deep breath and feel that version of you right now. It is here, it is real, and it is ready to be lived. From this moment on, don't look back at the old station. Keep your dial fixed on the music of abundance and watch as your world begins to transform in ways you never thought possible. The mirror is ready to reflect your new face. Are you ready to show it? Before we finish, I want to truly thank you for staying with me until the very end. Thank you for watching and for being part of this community. It means the world to have you here with us as we explore these deeper truths about our reality. I hope this message resonated with you as deeply as it did with me. If you're ready to anchor this new identity, let's make it official. Please subscribe to our channel and join our community of seekers. It truly helps us keep this work going. Also, don't forget that the links to the books I recommend and the free PDF are right there in the description to help you on your path. These resources are there to support your journey. Thank you again for your presence. Practice tuning into your wealthiest version today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.